When people say we need to read the Bible better, it's one of those nice ideas, but we all struggle to know what that means in practice. I'd like to suggest three things that help us answer the question. The first thing is that we need to know it. We need to know our way around the Bible. It's not that obvious. It takes a bit of time and a bit of thought and a bit of effort. My first experience of reading the Bible was to try and read the whole thing from beginning to end, because I thought it was a book. I'll come back to that in a minute. And it's not how it works. There are some very good ways of reading our way through the Bible in a year, if you find different ways of reading the Bible that enable you to get a taste of what the whole story is, of the great stories, of the teaching, of the ups and downs, of the disasters and the wonders of what happens to the people of God as they respond to his work in their lives. And as we get to know it, we see this constant pattern of God reaching out, calling people to God, reaching out, calling people to God, to follow, to serve, to love one another. It's the most extraordinary story. So first, try and get to know it. Secondly, we need to understand what the Bible is. It's a library, not a book. You don't go into a library and treat every book on every shelf in exactly the same way. If you pick up a collection of poems, you might leaf through and pick one here and another there that really speaks to you in a particular way. If you pick up a book that is a story, you would read the whole story from beginning to end. The Bible is a collection of books with poetry, with imagination, with history, all of it inspired by God in order that we might know who God is more clearly and better. Over the centuries, the church has been blessed by those who've given us ways of understanding the different bits of the Bible, what they are, what kind of literature they are, what they mean, how we apply them. We need to use those resources to understand what we're reading. But my third thought, and this is the most important one, is that when we read the Bible, we need to be ready to be transformed by it. One of the things that has constantly moved me over the years as a priest and in Christian ministry in many places and many ways is when people allow the Bible to change them, the impact it has on them. Let me give you an example. Working in a place where there'd been savage fighting and working with some clergy who were deeply embittered by the struggle and suffering they'd gone through, the dead they'd seen, the losses they'd had even in their own families. And we read the book of Jonah. And as we read it, they allowed themselves to be changed. And I'm thinking of one person in particular who went from hatred to forgiveness as God spoke through the Bible into his heart. We need to come to Scripture, to the Bible, saying, this is going to change me. I won't be the same person after reading it. So, very simply, get to know your way around it. Know what kind of collection of books it is. But above all, be prepared to be changed when you read it, either by yourself or with others. It's incredibly exciting.